Okay, so I can't be at the meeting because something came up last second, and I have to go in a bit, but I thought I would make a video, and then you guys can react to it or whatever, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I read the Antifa one, which is pretty cool. The problem that was being addressed in this piece was, well, the history of Antifa, you know? Antifa started in the 1930s in, I think it was the Weimar Republic, or it was just in Europe in general, when the rise of fascism was occurring, and they would just take to the streets and counter fascists. That's what they did. That's what they still do. And Antifa isn't really an organization. It's more of a local thing that happens when fascism happens. When the people do a fascism, the other people do an Antifa. Okay, so and with that, once the fascists go away, the Antifa tends to go away as well. This is seen in Denmark. This is seen in the UK. There was a battle between fascists and anti-fascists around 1939, I think it was, where Antifa and them clashed, and then and then the fascists went away, and Antifa went away in London, or for the time being. And so, yeah, that's the problem that they're addressing. What evidence does the author? Like I said, the author cites a lot of like battles and just the author cites a lot of Antifa activity in Europe around the 30s and 40s, and along with that, they cite they cite other people too. Yeah, one or two course concepts we've discussed so far that might help you understand why the problem was developed. The main one that I saw was when things get violent, that movement tends to lose support. So there's a big debate among anti-fascists about nonviolence versus violence, which happens a lot, and not violence happens a lot, the discourse happens a lot. And one side argues, well, if they're violent, we need to defend ourselves, and the other side argues, but we lose like the public support when we become violent, even if they're not necessarily the ones that started it. Your personal assessment, do you find the argument presented in this piece convincing? Why or why not? I do. Once again, on this one, I'm pretty biased, but seeing the history of Antifa is pretty cool because I've been involved with it, but I didn't know a lot about it besides what I did in my little town, you know? And it's cool to see that the problems we had and the experiences we had aren't like it wasn't just us. Like these have been happening. These problems have been happening for hundreds of years, or 100 years. So it was really cool to see that. And on top of that, the author mentioned briefly mentioned that the people in Europe didn't have AR-15s. And so that's another part of the debate is like, should Antifa arm themselves? Probably for their own safety, but at the same time, that just escalates violence, and that like bringing a gun implies violence. I don't know. Anyways, that was my thoughts on that. I don't know if this will still count. If it doesn't, that's cool. But yeah.